Hello, beautiful people. I hope all is well. I hope all is well. My name is Alison. I am a certified dating and relationship coach, and I primarily work with women to help them find and keep the partners that they deserve. This is my weekly live Q&A. I come on here voluntarily once a week to answer you guys' questions for free. So let's be thankful, because I got a message that kind of got on my nerves just now. Okay. If you are interested in getting some more support and some more guidance, and you need some depth behind my responses, please feel free to click the link in my bio and book a session. Welcome to Unique Goddess Dream 1026. G Haddon, thank you for joining us. Princess Bree. We have Biggie O. Hello. G Lovely, how are you? Or GG Lovely OMC. I like that. That's a cute name. We have B-Ball in the building. B-Ball, you have to submit your questions in advance. I'm about to explain it like I do every week, and how I explain it in my stories every week as well. Get Fit with Tiff, thank you for joining us. Teresa, hello. She's Breaking Bad. City, Platinum Chanel, welcome. Everyone who is joining the live, welcome. Okay, so let us go ahead and jump right in. So how does it work? Every week I do this live Q&A. It gives folks the opportunity who are not willing or able to afford a session for them to get their questions asked and answered around dating and relationship issues. So I post the same story every week. Here it is. This same green story every week. I do it 24 hours before the live, so it gives folks the opportunity to go ahead and put their question inside of the box. I have people who ask me, can I DM it to you? No, you cannot. I have people who say, oh, it's too long. Can I DM it to you? No, you cannot. And there's a reason behind it. I have probably thousands of DMs in my folder, and probably 100 that come through in a day. So when I do my live Q&A, I cannot find them when it's time. I need to have them in the story box, because when I swipe up on the story box, without showing anybody's business, all of the questions are there listed. I would be fumbling through the live, searching and finding and looking for DMs. So you have to make it fit in the box. If it does not fit in the box, then that means that it's time for you to book a session with somebody. Y'all know my famous line, it don't have to be me. But if we cannot make it concise, that I am not in a position to answer the question for you. Okay? All right. So let us go ahead and get started. We talk every day, all day through text, but really rarely speak on the phone. Should I worry? We talk every day, all day through text, but rarely speak on the phone. Should I worry? Okay, so there's a couple of factors in this. Number one, how old are you? How old is the person that you're speaking to? In this day and age, people prefer text, and they're deferring to text over phone calls. So the younger you are, the more inclined that people are going to text a lot more than speak on the phone. And it doesn't mean that they're doing or being suspicious. It may just be the generation that we're in. It may just be their preference. My recommendation to you, if you want to talk on the phone more, is say that. Say, hey, sometimes the message gets lost via text. I would prefer to talk on the phone. When do you have time this week? When you get on the phone, hey, I like to talk on the phone. Do you? Would you mind? Right? So have that conversation. I'm not going to assume just because someone is texting a lot more than calling is because they're doing something nefarious. It could be that they just aren't crazy about it. All right? Get Fit with Tiff, a woman, says that she prefers text. So it doesn't mean that someone is doing or being dishonest just because they are texting only. Okay? After matching and introducing yourself, what's the best way to continue the conversation? After matching and introducing yourself, what's the best way to continue the conversation? Okay, so this is actually a very, very good question. So when I work with my clients and we talk about how to function and navigate on dating apps, my recommendation to them is to look at the profile of the person in which they are speaking. Look at their profile, read their profile, look at the photos. Try to find something that you can extrapolate from the profile that gives you the opportunity to have a conversation. Okay, so what does that look like? That looks like if I would have a profile, one of my photos might be me being a cheerleading coach, right? Oh, you coach cheerleading. That's so cool. I used to be a coach at such and such. I used to volunteer with the Boys and Girls Club. I used to do blah, blah, blah. Do you enjoy it? If I'm looking at photos and someone is on a vacation, they went jet skiing in Jamaica. Oh, that looks so much fun. I can't wait to go to my Jamaican trip with my girlfriends. We're leaving next week. Whatever. So in order to engage in conversation, you should look at the profile and find something that you can take from the profile so you can engage in conversation that way. That's why I teach how to create a winning profile, because it gives gentlemen mostly, because my clients are women, it gives mostly women, it gives them the opportunity to give the guy a chance to say something. When you have a very boring profile, when your photos are only selfies, when you don't talk about yourself and explain the things that you're into, then it doesn't really give anyone the opportunity to jumpstart a convo, okay? So if you need help with increasing or improving your profile, click the link in my bio, check out Dating 101. It's 2.5 hours, it's $7, and it will tell you everything you need to know in order to improve your profile. If you want me to review it, join me in a coaching program. 10 months in, we click well, everything is good, and then he pulls back. Hold on or move on. 10 months in, we click well, everything is good, and then he pulls back. Hold on or move on. All right, so what I need you to do is have a conversation. Many of my responses to you guys, unless it's egregious, is to have a conversation. Reach out to the gentleman and say, hey, exactly what you told me. We've been talking for 10 months. We've clicked so well. You know that. We get along so well. Things are going in the right direction. And it seems as though you've pulled away. What's going on? Is everything all right? Is there anything that's going, something, right? Ask them. Figure out, hey, did I do something that offended you? And you may have not. And I don't want you to take responsibility for their pull. I'm just saying this is how you can jumpstart the conversation. Now, if he gives you a good reason, then all right, he gives you a good reason and you accept that reason and you move on. I'm really just overwhelmed. I have my LSATs. I've been trying to study for this exam for 2 years. I've already failed 3 times. I feel like a disappointment. I feel like a loser. I feel stupid, whatever, right? And then you move on. Actually, I didn't want to mention this, but my dad is not feeling well and I'm very nervous about whether or not he'll be able to recuperate, whatever. If it's a decent enough answer that you can accept it, you accept it, and then you give grace. If there is no response, or if the answer sounds like it's BS, then the answer is probably BS. Now, you could wait it out a couple more days, a couple more weeks, see if there's any change in behavior. If there's no change in behavior, then you move on accordingly. But you're not going to be in this pull and pull relationship. It's ridiculous. So give him the chance, okay? How do you feel about when people say it happens when you least expect it? Let me turn it up then. Someone said the volume's low. Oh, my volume was all the way up, and y'all know me, I have a teacher voice, so I don't think, I don't know. I just turned it up a little bit more. It was already up. How do you feel about when people say it happens when you least expect it? Okay, so I am not a proponent of that ideology. I am not a proponent of that ideology because what happens when it least expected? So it's relationships and love. That's what happens when you least expect it, but nothing else does. So your job doesn't happen when you least expect it. Your degree doesn't happen when you least expect it. You taking control of your health and your physique doesn't happen when you least expect it. You clearing up your skin. You straightening out your teeth. You taking care of your hair. Like, nothing else happens when you least expect it. Everything else you have to work towards. Everything else you have to put together a skin regimen. Everything else you got to go to the dentist and straighten your teeth. Everything else you got to work hard to get the degree. Everything else you have to do the resume and put it in and have multiple interviews. So everything else you have to put work in. But love and relationships and romance is something that's magically different. And that's the only thing that's going to fall into your lap. So that's why I don't subscribe to the ideology of it happens when you least expect it, because nothing else really does. I mean, of course, in life, sometimes you have some surprises, right? Like, oh, you get my light just flickered out of nowhere. Okay, no light today. Like sometimes things just fall into your lap. Sometimes you get a check in the mail you didn't anticipate. The IRS reaches out and says, oh, we didn't do the calculations right. Here's $500. But generally speaking, for the things that we want in life, that's not normal. So if that's not normal for the things that we want in life, I'm going to take action in my romance just like I take action for every other element of my life. Let me try this light one more time, y'all. Y'all gonna give me a minute. It's a brand new thing. My hubby just bought it for me from Amazon. That's some bullshit. Oh, well. I guess we're just going to be a little... I hope the room light is enough. I have another light, but I don't want y'all seeing my pants. You know how it is? Like, you look decent from here when you want to zoom, and then the pants look crazy. So I got another light, but we're going to have to just rock out like this. Okay? Okay. It happened for my friend when she least expected it, but it didn't last, right? I mean, it can. I mean, there are some times where magically you get a job that... No. Sorry. No, I don't subscribe to that ideology. Okay? Okay. He's looking for a wife. Don't want to be another woman on his roster. Should I let him go? He's looking for a wife. Don't want to be another woman on his roster. Should I... Oh, this is it. This is a question in 3 parts. That's why that doesn't make sense. Sorry, boo. If I have time, I'll try to figure it out, but it comes up choppy. And as I explained, for those who are coming in, my name is Alison. I am a certified dating and relationship coach. I primarily work with singles to help them find and keep the partners that they deserve. Every week I do this live Q&A. The question queue is in my stories. You have to put it in my stories, and it has to fit in the box because that's where confusion comes in. It comes in choppy, and I don't understand. So if I can figure it out later, I will try. If not, then... you'll have to resubmit for next week, or you could click the link in my bio and you can book a session. Okay? Okay. He's 43. I'm 31. Been talking and on a date. Going well so far. Can the age gap work? He's 43. I'm 31. Been talking and on a date. Going well so far. Can this age gap work? Yes, it can work. Yes, it can work. This is what, a 12-year age gap. And generally speaking, you guys know I am not for the division. I don't like divisiveness, but generally speaking, women are more mature than men. So when women date older men, it's not as outlandish or difficult to navigate as the reverse, right? And you're in your 30s. Now, if this were a 12-year age gap and you were 20 and he was 32, then I would say, that's not a good look, because someone who's 20 versus 32 are in absolutely different places. But 43 to 31, I would imagine this gentleman is slightly more ahead in terms of his life and his planning. It's not an outrageous gap. I will alert you to this, and I said this last week when someone, or 2 weeks ago when someone asked a similar question. I need you to keep in mind that when you have these gaps, you may end up being a caretaker earlier than when you would have anticipated. And are you okay with that? And will you accept that? So you're 31, he's 43. So that means when he's 65, you're going to be 53, 52, right? The needs of a 65-year-old physically, right, depending on his ailments and how well he takes care of himself, may put you in a position to be a caretaker earlier than you would have liked. Are you okay with that? If you're okay with that, I'm okay with that. But you have to think in advance, okay? Recently broke up with ex, but we're still hanging out, hooking up, hoping to make it work. Recently broke up with ex, but we're still hanging out, hooking up, hoping to make it work. You know what? I want light, y'all. So I'm going to give this one more shot. Because when I roll my eyes and suck my teeth, I want y'all to see my face. Good. It worked. Let's see how long this light lasts. So I'm going to start this again. Recently broke up with ex, but we're still hanging out and hooking up, hoping to make it work. So my first question is, why did you break up with him? You said recently broke up with ex. You did the breaking up. Why did you leave him? Let's go with it was deserving. You left him for a really good reason, right? If you left him for a really good reason, then why are you still hanging out with him? Why are you still hooking up with him? And why are you trying to make it work? You left for a reason. Honor that reason. It was legitimate. Keep it moving. Now, let's say that you left for an illegitimate reason. You were emotional. You weren't thinking straight. You jumped out the window. It wasn't that serious. Like really and truly, it really wasn't that serious. And you just were outrageous, right? Why is the light not my friend today? Let's say you were outrageous. If you were outrageous, oh, you know what? It's dead. This thing has to be charged. It's not wired. Or it is, or something. Anywho, if it wasn't outrageous, then you need to check your emotions. Because if you're breaking up with people without logic, without reason, without any kind of legitimacy, then you need some work on yourself. Because why do you think it's acceptable that you're going around breaking people's hearts and ending relationships without a legitimate reason? So the answer is no, either way. That's the answer. The answer is no, either way. If you had a good reason to leave him and there is no resolution, then you need to leave him. Click the link in my bio. I have 2 trainings. One's on video. One is a book, How to Move On from an Ex, right? If you didn't have a good reason, then you need to do some work as to why you think it's acceptable to be breaking up with people willy-nilly and allowing your emotions to take over and you just breaking up with folks. That's not fair to him. That's not fair to him. So you decide, which one is it? Which one is it? Is it that, I see Tiff, I'm going to turn the light on. Is it that he deserved the breakup, so then you're going to move on? Or is it that he didn't deserve the breakup and you need to check yourself because it's not fair? If this was the other way around and this was a guy who was going around breaking up with women willy-nilly on whims, we would say that he needed help. But when women do it, it seems to be a more acceptable approach. I don't know which one, and I'm not judging you. I'm trying to give you some insight. Either way it goes, this is a no-go. All right, I'm going to go turn this light on. I'm going to just try to slide like this so y'all don't see. Oh, snap, the light is on. Does it get a lighter? Nope. I got up for nothing, y'all. Oh, wait. Is the dimmer all the way up? Okay. Damn, the dimmer's all the way up, too. All right. At least I had on pants. Y'all lucky. People don't be wearing pants, okay? All right? At least I had on some drawers and some pants. Okay, let's keep going. We're just going to work through what we can work through, okay? The last time before I had this ring, I was holding the light with one hand and the cell phone with another. So this ain't that bad. At least it's hands-free, okay? Let's go. Is it bad if I'm carrying the convo in the beginning? Does it mean the person lacks interest? Is it bad if I'm carrying the convo in the beginning? Does it mean the person lacks interest? Okay, so how much beginning is beginning, right? Like how many conversations? I'm also gonna look for the charger at the same time because maybe that's just a smarter move instead of me being a fool. The problem is I don't know what the charger looks like because my husband does all this stuff for me. Yes, he does simple stuff like charging things because if not, everything would be dead all the time. All right, one more try. Is this it? Is this it? I guess not. I don't think this is it. Jappa Black is here buying badges. Maybe this will work. Okay. Let's start this over. Sorry, y'all. I got to start over 1,000 times. Is it bad if I'm carrying the convo in the beginning? Does it mean the person lacks interest? Okay. How much beginning is too beginning, right? Like, is this the first convo, the second convo, the third one, the fifth one, the 10th one, right? If it's the first 2 times, guys, we got to give people some grace. Sometimes we catch them in the middle of things. I'm in a transition. I'm moving. I'm whatever, right? But if we're talking about 3, 4, 5, 6 times now, and you're always initiating, then this gentleman is either not interested in you or too busy to be dating. Now, I had a conversation with my husband yesterday about this, and guys don't like this, and I don't care. Again, y'all know I try not to be divisive, but there are some traits that tend to lean, or behaviors that tend to lean one way or the other. Guys be busy. Right? They be too busy to date. Yes, they be too busy to date. And they still want to because they still want to have access to sex. And that's not fair. So the person might like you, but they might be in a place in their life where they really can't dedicate time to you or anyone. It might not be about you or anyone, but yet they don't want to take themselves off the market because taking themselves off the market means taking themselves away from sex. So they try to have both, and that's just not fair, okay? So I say this to say, how much in the beginning is too beginning? Has there been any transition at all to where this person is showing you some effort by initiating? If there hasn't been by conversation 2, 3, 4, 5, keep it moving, okay? Okay. How to navigate a guy you were dating says he wants to slow it down and go back to being friends. How to navigate, okay, I know that the character's limited, but please use periods. How to navigate. I'm going back to my old ways, Tiffany, where I can't read these people's stuff. How to navigate a guy you were dating saying he wants to go slow. I'm not that I answer this question. How to navigate a guy you were dating saying he wants to slow down and go back to being friends. Okay. There is no navigation. He has navigated for you. You ain't navigating nothing. He has navigated for you. He has navigated you guys from romance to friendship. It is over. There is nothing to talk about. There's nothing to discuss. There is no reconsideration. There's no conversation. There's no convincing anyone that they want to be with you, that they want to try again. People do what they want to do, and there is no recourse that you have whatsoever. You cannot control what people do. You cannot control their emotions or their actions. So there is no navigation. Unless you're asking me, should you allow the friendship? Should you allow this quote unquote step back? If that's the question, it depends. Are you interested in being friends with him? I feel like I got enough friends. I got mad friends and they mad cool. I got mad friends and they mad cool. So me, if I were back on the dating soon, I'm not looking for more friends. I got friends. So if you're okay with being just friends, really okay with it, then cool. That's what you want to do. But there is no changing or shifting or navigating. He is the captain now. He is the captain now. Okay? I'm in a new relationship with my perfect person. How do I intro my children? I'm in a new relationship with my perfect person. How do I introduce him to my children? Okay, so I'm going to be talking to the greater masses first, and then I'm going to talk to you. Greater masses, do not get into a relationship with someone unless they have met your children. Do not confirm a relationship. Do not solidify or make it concrete until they've met the children, because then you gonna be like this person in a relationship without the children meeting. So when they meet the children, and if they were to meet the children, it's an absolute mismatch, then what? Then what? What if the kids hate him? What if he hates the kids? What if he's awkward? What if they're nasty and rude and won't change their behavior? Then what? Now you've quote unquote met this perfect person. You're in this relationship. And I mean, obviously you're going to choose the kids over him, I would imagine. So you're setting yourself up for failure. Please, I'm going to answer you in a second on what to do, what to try to do now. But for everyone else, you have to make sure that the children are on the same page. Enough. They don't got to run and call him daddy, but we need to have some kind of decent rapport between the two of them before you even bother to commit. So the question then leads, where do you go in terms of, at what point do you confirm the relationship versus introducing the kids? So this is what I say. Number one, every person you date absolutely should not be meeting your children. They don't have that privilege or that right? And plus, you don't want them to think that their mother, their father's a fast ass. That's the truth. So not every person, right? However, if you feel like we're going in the direction of, it seems like any week, any month now, we're going to be dropping everyone else that we have any kind of communication with, and we're definitely going to be going towards commitment. If you're having conversations around commitment, if you go into the point from like too early to care for, that's when the introduction should happen. We should not get to love and then do introductions, because then you tend to be asked out. Now, let's answer your question. How do you introduce them to the children? You do it. You done made your bed. So it's going to be, hey kids, as you know, mommy and daddy love you very much. However, we weren't able to make it work between us. We still love you. And both of us are also looking for love ourselves. For adults, romantic love, right? Depending on how old they are, you're going to gauge what kind of language you use. And so I met this guy. He's really nice. I think that you'll really like him. He will never replace your dad. Potentially, if daddy could be there, that would be amazing. He could never replace your dad. But mommy feels lonely sometimes. And so I want to introduce you to him. Are you okay with meeting him tomorrow? That's the speech. And again, if you could get daddy there in the same room or on speakerphone or on FaceTime, that would be amazing to show the kids that you guys are on the same page. Other than that, please don't do this again. If you are in a position to do this again, hopefully not. Hopefully you introduce them. They love each other. You guys live happily ever after. But if you or anyone else is in that position again, do not do the introduction after you've already said, you are my man, I am your girl, and we love each other. Please don't do that. Okay? I had a lot of people who wrote me like multiple messages, and it's all mixed up. And this is why I say, please make it work in one box. If you can't, you got to book a session, okay? Or figure out a way to make it happen. If I'm not that attracted to a guy, but he checks most of my boxes, should I keep trying? If I'm not attracted to a guy, but he checks most of my boxes, should I keep trying? For the purpose of time, I'm going to skip this question because I just answered it last week and it's right there. I made a clip. Just check out my reels. The answer is right there for you, okay? So no disrespect, but again, just so I can get through as many questions as possible, I literally just answered this last week and I made a reel of it. Go ahead and check it out, okay? Yes, all the lives are saved, Mocha Princess. Thank you. I am... Oh, let me just share with you guys. So I give you guys like 95% of my personality, right? Like those who know me know that this is the real me. The 5% that I leave out is cuss words. I don't think that it is respectful to those who don't appreciate that kind of language. So I really make an effort to not curse, right? However, this person cursed and I want to say what she said because the way she said it paints a good picture. So that's why I'm laughing, but I'm not going to say it the way that she said it. Okay. Okay. I'm messing with this guy heavy. He messes with me heavy too. He's very inconsistent. Should I go? I mess with this guy heavy. He messes with me heavy too. He's very inconsistent. Should I go? Okay, so question. How can you say that he, quote unquote, messes with you heavy? That's not what she said, but I'm for kindness, right? And he's inconsistent. If he's messing with you heavy, heavy is heavy. Heavy is consistent. Heavy is potentially overbearing. So does he mess with you heavy like you say that he does? Or is he inconsistent? Which one is it? If he's inconsistent, then he's inconsistent. What are you looking for? Are you looking for consistency? If you're looking for consistency and he said, or you say that he's inconsistent, then you already have your answer. You don't need me. You got the answer. This goes back to many of the other questions that I've received in the past. My non-negotiable is communication. He communicates poorly. What do I do? You already answered your question. If you want consistency, he doesn't offer it. You've already answered your question. If I'm going to get a weave ponytail and my hairstylist doesn't do weave ponytails, I already know I'm not going to her. Like, it really is that simple. Really is that simple. So you have to decide, is the inconsistency enough for you to cut this guy off? Yes, Tiffany, you are absolutely right. Tiffany said, she said the F word is giving, they are both from BK. Yes, she did say the F word, and there you go, okay? And they probably are from Brooklyn. How do you get someone to commit without seeming too aggressive or as if I'm rushing? How do I get someone to commit without seeming too aggressive or as if I'm rushing? You cannot get someone to commit. That's where we got to stop. Full stop. Full stop. You cannot get anyone to commit. You do not have the ability, the capacity, the know-how, the skill set, the capability, or any other synonym you can imagine to get someone to commit. You don't have it. Unless you have access to the black magics, right? Like, you don't have the ability to make anyone ever commit. You don't have the ability to get someone to marry you. You don't have the ability to do any of the sort. The person has to make a decision that says, I want you and only you, and so I want to commit to you. There is no convincing. There's no conversation. There's none of that. It doesn't work like that. And look at it this way. Would you want it that way? What if you were dating someone that you were kind of about, right? And they wanted to commit to you. They wanted you to commit to them. Would you want them to have the ability to convince you? No, you want to have your own sound body and mind. I don't want to be convinced. There is no changing of this person's mind. They either want commitment, number one, or they want commitment with you, number two. Both of those have to exist. If they don't want commitment in life with anyone, or they want commitment but they don't want it with you, it's not going to happen. There is no convincing. All you can do is share what you want out of the relationship and hope that they want the same. And if they don't want the same, you do yourself a favor and you keep it moving. That's the answer. For a second date, he wants me over. I said I'm not comfortable yet. He hasn't texted back. It's been 17 hours. Ditch. For a second date, he wants me over. I said I'm not comfortable yet. He hasn't texted me back. It's been 17 hours. Ditch? Okay. So first of all, asking someone to come over for a second date to their home is what I think inappropriate. And I will implore, mostly men, but anyone who asks someone to come over to their home as a second date, that's inappropriate. It makes people feel uncomfortable. It makes them feel rushed. Okay, so please let's stop doing that. That's number one. Number two, I appreciate the fact that you said I'm not comfortable yet. So let him know I'm into you, right? And eventually I would like to spend that kind of time with you. However, I don't feel comfortable yet. And you're absolutely right for doing so. Right? So I'm glad that you expressed that. You stuck to your guns and you said yet to let him know that eventually it will happen when the both of you are ready. Number two. Number three, it's been 17 hours. Does he have like a life? I think that we need to be a little bit more mindful of time, right? So it's been 17 hours. How frequently did you guys text before? And is there any logical reason as to why 17 hours is too much to ask? If you guys text all day, every day for weeks, and as soon as you said, I won't go to your house, now he's disappeared for 17 hours, okay. But if he has a life, right? He has a job, he has a career, he goes to school, and that's not how much y'all texted before, I would ask, right? Again, you have to decide. Look at the pattern. What's been the pattern? If you know that he has nothing going on that would explain away 17 hours and y'all text all day, every day, then that's the pattern. As someone in the comments said, he ditched you. You ain't got to worry about ditching. And guess what? Ain't no shame in that because that means that all he wanted you for was sex. So good. I'm glad that you stuck to your guns because imagine if you didn't stick to your guns and then would he have ditched you still? Because he got what he wanted. So I'm glad. And if he did ditch you, then cool. Now, if he texts you and it's reasonable, maybe he had an exam, you forgot, whatever it is, then we'll see. But he ditched you potentially, if that's not the pattern, and it is A-okay, I am glad. Because I would much rather you have not given it up and he ditched you versus you gave it up and then he still ditched you. Okay? I'm going to try to piece together some of these questions that I asked you guys. Please do not put in parts. It has to fit. Okay, actually, let me get through the ones that are full. Dating a guy, going good, but then out of the blue, he ignores me. Mood swings or should I? Next. Dating a guy, going good, but then out of the blue, he ignores me. Mood swings or should I? Next. Remember that show Next that was on MTV? That's cute. Okay, so first of all, you are not here on this earth to be dealing with people's mood swings. You are not the mother of a teenage child dealing with your child's mood swings. And you are not a mental health professional dealing with those who have mental health issues that include mood swings. That is not your job. And let me say this now. That's also not the job of men, ladies, who go through mood swings at particular times of the month or whenever or however. That's not their job to rein you in or control you or whatever the terminology that some women like to use. Like, I need him to be able to whatever me. That's not their job, okay? Nonetheless, I don't care if he has mood swings. It is not your responsibility to monitor his mood swings and then to what? To ask for his forgiveness or whatever it is so that you guys can get back on a good... No. It's out of the blue he ignores you. That means you guys did not get into anything. There was no conflict. There was no issue. His mood swing potentially has nothing to do with you. And then now the expectation that you got to go sweat him to get back in his good graces. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay? You need to next. Nothing went wrong. Nothing happened. You had no issue, no argument, no disagreement. And out of the blue, as you said, he just starts ignoring you. If he's doing that now, imagine how much worse it's going to be later on. And how much more of a risk it'll be to you later on. Later on when you own a property together and he's ignoring you. Later on when you're planning your wedding and he's ignoring you. Later on when you're pregnant and he's ignoring you. When you have kids and he's ignoring you. Nah, you good. You are good on this. Please move forward. Okay? Why does my crush call me every night, but has a girlfriend? Is this micro cheating? Why does my crush call me every night, but has a girlfriend? Is this micro cheating? So, let's start with the fact of, are you answering the phone every night? Because I would imagine, unless he is off his rocker, that he's not going to be calling you over and over and over again unless you're actually answering the phone. I would imagine, right? It can happen. Sometimes some people don't know how to let go. But don't answer, because eventually he'll stop calling. Okay, so that's number one. Why is he calling? Because you answering, I assume. I don't know, I assume. And if you're not answering, then you need to block him because he's harassing you. Secondly, but he has a girlfriend. Is that micro cheating? I don't know about micro or mini or macro. I don't know, right? What I know is that this is an inappropriate behavior and you need to withdraw yourself from this foolishness. That's all I know. I don't know micro, macro, mini, extra small, small, large. All I know is that this is inappropriate and I don't want you to be engaging in this conversation with this gentleman. Do not answer the phone. Do not engage with him. He's disrespecting his girlfriend. If you are having these conversations with him, then that means you are a part of the disrespect, right? And then karma's a bitch. Remove yourself from this, please. Okay? Now, I have 3 minutes because I need to eat before I have my 6 o'clock session. So let me see what I can put together. Oh, someone asked, advice for single mothers getting back into dating. Click the link in my bio. Check out the free training, The Partner You Deserve. It's an hour. It talks about how to navigate dating. And then I have a 2.5-hour masterclass that comes with a worksheet that's $7. Click the link in my bio. I talk all about dating, okay? Oh, this was one I definitely wanted to answer. Let me go back, okay? Let me erase that shameless plug and go back and answer this question because I DM'd her because I needed some clarity. Rare, okay? So the full question was, it was advice for single mothers getting back into dating. Then the second part was, are guys with kids a deal breaker? If not, how to tackle it? Oh, thank you, Choxington. She said that masterclass is great. Highly recommend. Advice for single mothers getting back into dating. And then she asked a second question, which is, are guys with kids a deal breaker? If not, how to tackle it? So I DM'd her to get clarity, okay? To me, and y'all can tell me I'm wrong, I'm a mother of 3.5 months, like no time, right? To me, I don't think that it's reasonable for someone who has children to not date someone else who has children because they have children. Now, I have a friend who told me she don't care about logic and reason. I do. She doesn't care about logic and reason. She has 2 children. She's not dating guys with kids. Automatically. Doesn't matter what else he has to offer. I think that that's ridiculous. I think that that's unfair. If you have children, why do you think it's acceptable for you to dismiss someone who also has children? They're in the same boat as you, potentially. Now, it could be worse. It could be better, right? It could be that you have a poor relationship with your children's father. They have a great relationship with their child's mother, right? So it could be they're in a better boat. Could be in a worse boat. I don't know. But what I know is I think that it's unreasonable and it's unfair for you to hold someone to a different standard, not higher, different, a different standard than your own. So if you are someone who has a child, I think that it's unfair for you to X out someone who has a child simply because they have one. Okay? So how do you tackle it? You would tackle it the same way that you would tackle dating for yourself. You would have a conversation about the relationship that they have with the co-parent and see if that's something that you can deal with. You would find out the age of the child. See if that's a deal breaker. That's reasonable. I can understand that, right? Like, I can understand I am a mom, but I would not date someone who had a newborn. Okay, so find out what limitations you have within that, but simply because he has a child or children and you do, I would not dismiss them. I think that's unreasonable and unfair, especially because I would imagine you wouldn't want someone to dismiss you simply because you have children. I would imagine. I don't know, right? So for those who believe that they can have kids and the kids come with me and you have to accept it. However, on the other end, the other person you're dating can't have them. I think that's unreasonable. You wouldn't want to be dismissed simply because of your children, so please don't dismiss people because of theirs. Okay? Melanated Manifestation, thank you for the badge. She says, as a mom, my deal breaker is a man who wants more children. She's out of the game. Okay, and that's fine. And you established that early. Now, damn, I don't really have time. I'm going to try to get one more. Or two. I'm going to squeeze two. I initiated first date, then 2 days later, he canceled. I ended things. Was I too harsh? I initiated the first date, then 2 days later, he canceled. I ended things. Was I too harsh? Number one, I would not recommend as a woman that you're initiating the first date. That's not my recommendation, right? If the gentleman is interested in you, he should be asking you. My recommendation is date 3, date 4, date 5. You initiate. And my rule is whoever initiates should be the person who pays. But me, I would not recommend that women initiate that first date. I think if the gentleman's interested and is in a position to date you, then he will ask. Okay, that's number one. Number two, 2 days later, he canceled. Why did he cancel? I can only judge your harshness depending on the reason why he canceled. Was it reasonable? Was it reasonable? If it was unreasonable, if you called BS, if your intuition telling you that he was lying, whatever it is, then you weren't too harsh because he's BSing you. But if it's reasonable, if it's a reason why you would cancel, or you can imagine that someone would cancel for that reason, then I think that you were too harsh. However, you're not going back. No backsies. We're not spinning the block. Leave it alone. Learn your lesson moving forward if there's a lesson for you to learn. Okay? All right, this is my last one for real, for real. Goodness. And unfortunately, I don't understand what the hell this means. I'm going to read it out loud. Maybe you guys can help me. Oh, she said it was a football game and a birthday party. That's unreasonable. Goodbye, sir. We had plans. I don't give a F about some football game that you could catch the highlights on ESPN. And whose birthday party? Oh, well, you should have planned accordingly. Or bring me along. Nah, that's not good enough for me. I really wanted to read this one, but I don't understand it. I'm going to read it out loud to you guys. Maybe you guys can help me. August, going through custody battle. Mom now has cancer. Pulling away from me. Should I leave? It's the August that's messing me up. August, or is AUG period. What else could AUG period be? Y'all help me out. AUG period. Going through custody battle. Mom now has cancer. Pulling away from me. Should I leave? I'm going to ignore August or AUG period unless, let me scroll and see if you guys have anything. Nope. Y'all don't have nothing for me. I don't know what the hell that is. So I'm going to answer it the rest of it the best way that I can. Going through a custody battle. I assume he is going through a custody battle. The mother of his children now have cancer. He's pulling away. Should you leave? You're in a committed relationship. They've been dating since August? Maybe so. Are you in a relationship with this gentleman? If you're in a relationship with this gentleman, he is clearly going through a very tough time. One, he's going through a custody battle. Two, the mother of his children have cancer. They could potentially lose their mom. He could potentially lose his ex. This is potentially tragic. If you are in a committed relationship with this gentleman and he's beginning to pull away based on a very stressful situation that he's in, I would not leave. I wouldn't. Okay? If you are dating, there's no commitment, he has a lot going on in his life, then I would support him as a friend from afar. And I would say, you're going through a lot. Obviously, you're not really in a position to be dating or in a relationship right now. So let's put this on hold. Please let me know how I can help. Okay? But I would be nurturing and supportive. If we're already committed, I would try to make it work and help him process and get through this. If we're not committed, I would fall back, give him space, let him know you're here to support him. Okay? On that note, guys, thank you all for joining the live. Or his mom has cancer? Maybe. I don't know. Mom now has cancer. Yeah, I don't know. Either way it goes, he's going through a lot. So I'm answering the question the same way, okay? All right, beautiful people. I got to bounce. I have a group that starts in 10 minutes and I need to eat. I really enjoy having this live Q&A with all of you guys every week. I try to get on at 5 p.m. Eastern. I'm doing the best that I can, so I need you guys to be patient. In my emails, I say about 15 minutes, so I will join as soon as I can. They're also always saved, so you can watch them at your leisure. Fast forward looking for your response if you dropped a question. If you want to receive an alert of when I'm going live, go ahead and download anything free or paid. I send you an email and I send you a text message. Okay, so thank you all. I really appreciate you all, and I will see you at minimum next week if I don't have a live on the in-between. All right, folks, have a good one.